have the West Pest this morning. This little box. This is a bit mad. I guess sort of West Coast. This is just from a sine wave, so at the moment it's supposed to be on sine. And I did a little bit of messing with the patch bay this morning, and it does some nice noise without the noise. Well, you know, are you still here? What can I say? So, let's turn this hold off, and we'll take these little patchy cables out. We'll get somewhere near a normal basic sound. Let's turn the FM off. And I've had the LFO on audio rate. You've got two ranges. You've got I don't know, what's it now? It's like 40 seconds to 2 hertz, something like that. I could read the manual, but and then at the moment the rate's on. It's on the probably 1 hertz by the looks of it, up to I think it's 500 hertz. So sort of up into the audio range. Anyway, so let's turn off resonance and all that sort of stuff. So that's just a basic and very quiet. It's just the sine wave on its own, no wave folding. And yeah, we've got the choice of waves. So that's just a sine. This is a triangle. So a little bit, a few more harmonics. And the sawtooth, which is not that synonymous with West Coast, but they've put it on here and it kind of works. It's nice to have it in there. Then you can mix and match some of the waveforms, so that's sine and triangle, and sine and square, so sine and saw. Very quiet, very quiet. So anyway, Milo, morning Milo, Will, Davy, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in, keeping the old man company while he's faffing around making noise. Look at that poor old mini brute, demoted to the floor. Might bring him back later. Yeah, so then going through these waveforms, and then you've got triangle and sawtooth. And then I think finally, when it shows all yellow lights, so this is the noise. Yeah, It tells you in the manual how it makes that, but it's just noise. It's noise, but there's a little bit of a tone in there. You can just about hear a tone. You can hear that tone. Just about. Whereas that noise that I had up before with just a sine wave, that was a lot more just noise. That, I think, no tones in that one. But anyway, it is what it is. It's still. I've used that to do some percussive tracks on something I've been having on the go. So I mean, that's the oscillator section. I wasn't going to do a tutorial or a review or anything, but I tell you, let's get a bit warm. Put it on the. I knew the Surface Pro would come in handy one day for something. Let's go back to the sine. So, yeah, okay, we've got two sort of like shift buttons, if you like. You've got the white and the yellow. And that allows you to select. So the yellow allows you to set certain functions, and as does the white. But I'm not going to go into any detail with that because there's absolutely loads of videos on YouTube. But if I think it comes in handy and it's in context, I'll tell you what I've done. I suppose I should at least do that, shouldn't I? Right. So back to the sine wave. Waveform contour. A bit misleading this, in as much as the way the colouring on the West Pest is laid out. So the oscillator is this yellow bit, then the wave contour is this black bit here. Then you've got the dynamics controller here, and so on, patch bay, keyboard, and some keys. But the resonance is not really part of the waveform contour. It's actually part of the dynamics controller. So we'll ignore. So all the waveform contour just consists of the wavefolding knob and the wavefold mod knob. So without the mod and without any of these, I think I'll probably just turn the sustain up a little bit. So that's supposed to be a sine wave. Now, I've had a look in this. I've had a look in the oscillator in Reaper, and it's not a clean sine wave. But you know, again, who really cares? It just makes a noise. And traditionally, I suppose you could say, traditionally, the sine wave is one of the best waveforms to fold. And then the triangle's kind of okay. Then the sawtooth is probably not the likeliest waveform you would fold. But anyway, so we'll just see what this fold does to the sine wave. So we'll just hold an E down there. And there's probably, I'll tell you what, let's turn the delay off. I'll turn the delay off for now. But I'll leave the reverb on. There you go. That's delay off. So you can hear that change in timbre. And I suppose, should I put an oscillator? Let's put an oscillator on here so you can have a look on Reaper. I suppose that'd be part of the service, wouldn't it? What does it look like? Where we oscillator. I found it yet. Oscilloscope, sorry. No, so I keep calling me. God. I keep calling me oscilloscope an oscillator. It's an oscilloscope, you daft plonker. Let's go over to Reaper. So, yeah. I wonder if can this be made bigger? I'm not sure if it can. Oh, you can't resize it because I've not. Oh, I don't want to go to sod off. Melder, I like you, but you know. Anyway, oscillator. I need to look. I need to suss out a different oscillator. Let's get a wave going through there, shall we? And we'll normalize that. So, I mean, it's not far off, is it? Not far off a sine. But you can if I put a sine on, in fact, actually, you can see on. Well, I'll tell you what. To be fair, let's mute the reverb as well. There you go. So that's just the oscillator's waveform on its Todd. No reverb. But you can see in span how it's got a fundamental there. And it's actually in tune. Near enough. I've not tuned it yet. Because you've got to tune this thing. It does warm up. And then we've got the harmonic stuff going on down there. So even just that slight offset you can see in the sine, it's not quite symmetrical, is it? And that is enough to give the sine wave a little bit of added colour, if you like. But anyway, that's what we've got. Then you bring the wavefolder in, you start bringing the wavefolder in, and you can see what the wavefolder's doing. It's folding the top of the sine wave back on itself. That's why it's called a wavefolder, which is synonymous with West Coast synthesis. Okay. So we're only about at 3 o'clock, so that's nothing. So it's probably only about 20%, something like that. And then it starts to fold it again. Yeah. And if you look at span, there, you can see all the additional harmonics coming in. In fact, the harmonics are louder than the fundamental in some places. There you go. And I don't know, what's that? Is that like some sort of a strange square shape? Almost is, isn't it? So anyway, I suppose it is like yeah, a bit of a square almost. So that's the folded sine wave. I suppose for completeness, I wasn't going to do this, but while we're here, let's do this. Because listen to my music's alright, bloody MIDI, isn't it? So that's now this is funny again. Oh, I've just untuned it. Let's tune it, shall we? It'd be warm enough now. Let's throw a tune on here. Which one shall we use? We'll use Melder again. That should be. Oh, there you go. That's bloody hell. That's close enough, isn't it? So this is supposed to be a triangle. Now, I'm sorry, but that looks like the sine to me. Let's go back to the sine. I mean, you can hear the difference. You can definitely hear the difference. But it's subtle, isn't it? It's very subtle. And then folding. So, yeah, weird that, isn't it? Let's do the, so this is the sawtooth. I mean, what? Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not going to complain. Because it's for me, it's just it makes noise, and that's the most important thing. But to call that a sawtooth is a little bit, unless that oscilloscope's crap, that's a possibility. Yes, Davy, yeah, especially the analog and all me sort of like modular stuff, yeah. The only things that don't need tuning that I've got in my Euro rack. No, in fact, actually, no. Sorry, hardware. Let's turn that off a sec. Shut up. No, you don't have to tune all hardware. So, for instance, my Novation Nova and the Oberheim OB12, don't have to tune those. They are digital. They are analog modeling synths, so they are digital. So I don't have to tune those. That they're just in tune. The Distingy X oscillators are also digital, so I don't have to tune those unless because I do tune them. So let's say I'm doing a drone in E or whatever, I will then turn on I would then plug in the oscillator and then tune it to E. But once it's tuned, that's it. Analog oscillators. I mean, the Expert Sleepers Lorelei, which is it's their analog oscillator. That's got to be on for about 20 minutes before it settles down. So yeah, analog stuff traditionally. Again, traditionally, they've got to warm up because the circuitry affects the tuning, the warmth of the. So as it warms up, the tuning changes. Yeah. So where was we? Oh yeah, sawtooth. So we've got a sawtooth there. So it's almost as though, and I've got to say, I can't, maybe I shouldn't trust that oscilloscope, and I don't have a hardware oscilloscope, so I'm not going to be able to test it or check it, so I'm just going to trust what I've got at the moment. But I mean, if you use your ears, there are differences between the three waveforms. So let's go to, let's say, sine and triangle. So already you can see a slight change there. You've got a little bit of some harmonics coming in already and folded. It's kind of, I mean, to my ears, oh mind you, that is different, isn't it? That is definitely different to just the sine and the the sine or the triangle on their own. And then let's do, so this is sine, and I just detuned it again. And then triangle and sawtooth. And finally, the noise, which yeah. So yeah, okay. Back to sine. So back to sine wave. So that's the wavefolder, and then you've got this fold mod. So the way that works is it's linked. So it's underneath here. I could throw up the manual, I guess, but basically some of these, it's internally patched. Let's put it that way. So the LFO triangle is permanently attached to the I think for the fold in the dynamics mod and the pitch, something like that. So for instance, you can hear that it's the LFO's affecting the pitch, and if I turn the, so that's sweeping through the wave folding. Okay. And you put the reverb back on. Morning, Graham. Yeah, new tech. I've actually found out how to work it now. Well, at least work it to what I need anyway. I've not cracked the whole nut yet, but I've cracked it enough for what I want to do anyway. That's the main thing, I guess. So yeah, that's the waveform contour section, which is just these two knobs, not the resonance. The resonance is part of the. I feel compelled to get a bit of yellow paint out and paint it around the resonance knob. Anyway, so let's put a bit of fold on that so we can hear it. It's a bit louder, isn't it? Keyboard, C to C. You can change the octaves. Ooh. Like that. So let's do the dynamics controller. We'll turn the release down, the release mod down. We'll leave the resonance down for the minute. So sustain is up full. And in this regard, it's kind of, the sustain is the same as your normal sustain, I think it is anyway, that you would find on a normal envelope generator, an East Coast envelope generator. What you don't have is attack. Although I am told, or have found something on the internet that says that if you use a standard envelope generator from within your modular system and plug that in somewhere, and I don't know which one it is offhand, you can get some kind of attack. But again, generally with West Coast, it normally relies on, because this is supposed to be a low pass gate, and I think I'm going to keep saying I think, because I'm no real expert on. Let's go back to the. We'll finish with that for the minute, haven't we? Can shut that down. Let's go back to this thing. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, West Coast uses a low pass gate, and I think normally a low pass gate in West Coast world, in Buchla or wherever, Don Buchla, was a Vactrol based device. And a Vactrol is basically, you've got so this is the left hand is an LED, and the right hand is a light sensitive resistor. So you open a gate, or you press a note, and the LED comes on. You hold that note, it stays open, because the the light resistant, the light sensitive resistor, sorry, the light sensitive resistor, once it's got a light on it, allows the current to pass, so that opens the gate. Sound can now pass through. The LED goes off, the resistance increases, it stops the sound from going through. So there's your sort of gate. Now the characteristics of the LED, how fast the glow went off, would affect the release of the sound of the envelope, if you like, because there's still, it doesn't, the resistor, there's still some light to open or keep the gate open, but it just increases the resistance, so the sound drops off. So you would, each LED, each Vactrol that was ever made was just, it could be slightly different, or you could use different, you could use different LEDs. And I've done this myself. I've actually made some Vactrols. So in my Eurorack at the moment, I've got some homemade low pass gates, passive low pass gates. Passive, that's, I mean, there's, what I don't know about West Coast is whether they were passive. They may well have been active low pass gates with extra circuitry. I'm no expert, as I said. My low pass gates are totally passive, so it relies just totally on the LED coming on, exciting the resistor to open it, LED going off. So with that knowledge, we have, so in terms of the West Pest, we don't have any attack, so it's just full on. And I have yet to find out how we can. I think you can apply an attack curve, but I've not sussed out how to do that yet. But I think you've got to do it externally. So now, as I turn down the sustain, so you can hear how, you can hear that ping, and it drops down to a level. So now we've got no sustain, no release. Let's bring the reverb back in. Oh, I hear IP. Hey up, Rip. Thanks for thanks for joining. Yeah, okay. As usual, the IP, Mr. Popes. I'm gonna squeeze. I'm gonna coax out your first name eventually, so I don't have to keep calling you IP. Right, reverb. Let's put some reverb on. So quite quiet. Let's add a bit of wavefold. So that's with the sustain right down, and all the sustain does then is it's, well, as you expect, it just, this is how you would expect an ordinary envelope generator to work. You lift the sustain up and it brings the level of the sound up. Yeah. So that's the sustain. I've talked enough about that. So the release is, again, this is very similar to the same pretty much as a normal envelope generator. So you increase the release. Tony, right? I have to write that down because I'm going to forget. IP equals Tony. IP equals Tony. Exclamation mark. Yeah, great. Thanks for that. Right. So there we have some release. So no release, and I'm just tapping the key, so that's like minimal gate time. That's full release. Now if I hold my finger down, so keep the gate open, it still releases. But you can open the gate. So in effect, that's almost like, so that's your decay in this instance. So if you assume this is for a minute an ordinary envelope generator, ADSR, that is like your decay rate as well. Anyway, I don't think I've talked too much crap there, have I? So it's quite simple. That makes it does what it says on the tin, I guess. Resonance. So let's just do the resonance. So as you expect, this is going to add resonance at certain, you know. And I don't know why. So I don't. Can you hear that? Oh, wait a minute. Doesn't do it all the time. It sort of goes bum dum, bum. I don't know. Bit of resonance. Now it doesn't actually self-oscillate. Never. Okay. So we've done pretty much everything there apart from this release mod knob. So let's turn the resonance down a bit. Put it forward up. And we'll set the envelope to the lower range. There you go. So that's now just cycling through a little bit slower. So if I just play this note here, and I turn the release mod up, you can hear what that's doing, can't you? Yeah. So it just modifies the release time via the LFO, and there's an input for that. Dynamic mod is that one there, if you wanted to affect that externally. So I mean that's it really, I think. The LFO, yeah, it's very simple LFO. Glide, you've got some glides. Let's put a bit of sustain on. So you can put a bit of glide on if you want. Portamento, of course. Volume knob, yeah, and then all this sort of stuff. So, yeah, that's it really. It's quite a simple but really nice sounding device. And I've never had a morning, Klaus. Thanks for dropping in, mate. Yeah, I've never had anything like this before, and I wouldn't say it's knocked me for a six. It's just a little bit different to what I've been used to over the last 5 or whatever years since I've had the Euro rack. I've quite enjoyed having this just to the side of me, plugged into me, without even turning all that stuff on, and just messing around. So I'll tell you what I'll do now. I mean, I've got I'll very quickly just bore you with something. Let's go back to Reaper. And I'll turn myself round in a creaky chair. And I started to, I've put together this, it's unmixed, it's just a couple of tracks. I say a couple. Let's turn this off for a sec. I've created 4 drone tracks, and these are very simple. And so I should explain this. So every track on this has been created with the West Pest plus software reverb and delay. So if I look at that first drone, this is like the low drone. And as of yet, I've not performed this drone, so this is just basically set up on the West Pest and left to drone away, and then I've recorded 10 minutes of it. Why I did 10 minutes? I could have just recorded 3 minutes and stretched it, not stretched it, but looped it. But it's just what I do. I've recorded the full 10 minutes, and that's all that does. Oops, let's put the next one on. So this is another one, another drone, different drone, slightly higher. Another one, higher still. And finally, another one slightly higher. So when you hear all those drones together, you get that kind of thing. And like I said, it's not been mixed. I've done a little bit of, so if you look at span, there's a little bit too much energy perhaps around about the low mids around about here, 200, 300, but I'll deal with that. So that's my drone bed. For what it is. And I have yet to get anything more than this from a drone point of view from the West Pest. I'm sure there are ways of, so if I play it, if I literally twiddle knobs while it's recording, then I'll get more interesting stuff out of it. But at the moment, this is just my drone bed. And then so let's turn all these off. I'll turn them back on. And then I've got a couple of sequences going on, just the 2 for the minute. So now it's a very, very simple sequence, and I use stepic as usual. That's what I'd usually gravitate to. I could have used my hardware sequences, but it was just there and immediate. Hold on, so I'm just going to drink a gin. Yeah, gin. So, I'm missing stuff in chat, aren't we? Are we gonna get to see Andy play keys with his no? Yes. Should I wear socks? I know feet are quite ugly, aren't they? But yeah, I don't wear socks. Yeah, so this is a sequence, and although I've not changed the notes in stepic, so I've not made it random or anything like that, it's being manipulated. So I'm changing certain parameters. I'm tweaking knobs to get it to develop a little bit. So and so on. So, nah, never wear socks. Abominations they are. I hate them. Caused me so many problems over the years, and having to wear socks, shoes and socks in an office. Yeah. But do you know what? Rip. About, I don't know, I'm guessing. Before COVID, I started to get sore toes. And when I looked into it, it was chilblains. I was getting chilblains. I thought, chilblains? I thought that was something old people got, and then I thought, oh right, okay, yeah, perhaps I'm an old person. So yeah, I've got to watch it in the winter, because if my feet get too cold, I get these bloody chilblains. Anyway, there's, oh, you can hear that, yeah. So, bit of knob twiddling there to get that. I'll do that. I'll do it live in a minute just to show you what I mean. So hold on. Let's bring this other one in. So another sequence, and let's start at the beginning here, roughly. So the difference with this sequence is I've now set up stepic to play random notes. And slightly, so I think it's 1/8 note, whereas the other one was 16th notes. Yeah. You could catch cold all sorts of ways, couldn't you? Don't go outside without a hat on. You'll catch your death of cold. Has anyone died of a cold? Anyway. Yeah, so again, I'm just a simple but random sequence, and I'm doing knob twiddling as it's playing. So, for my money, there is definitely some usable stuff here. And I can, you know, chop this up and move it around. Oh, do you hear that then? Bit of FM. Actually, that's what I've not shown you. I've not shown you everything on that, have I? Just realised, not shown you FM. What a wally. I'll do that in a minute. So, and then let's turn that off in a sec. And then I did a couple of tracks of percussion, so just slightly different timings. So that's a bit of white noise. And I've cheated in a way, because on the, if you look at the, I've cut out that tonal bit with some Pro Q3. So I'm just getting white noise, the higher end of the white noise out. Kev, hello. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see that you're a human anyway, Kev. I think we're all humans here, so you're in safe hands. Yeah, so that's... oh, hey up, Luke. Luke's in control of his own destiny today. I probably shouldn't have said that. That'd be a secret. So yeah, then a different, slightly different percussive bit there, and then mixed together. Again, I can just, you know. Do you know what? Is anyone here not used ChatGPT apart from me? I've not even been there yet. Yeah, so that's that. Now let's bring everything in. So again, this has got a lot of work to do. So I've got yet another project that I've got to work into something. But this is all. I think the thing is, this is all the West Pest. I suppose I could have. Nah, I could have done all sorts, but I'm not going to bother. Mix wise, yeah, it's a bit high in the low mids. Yeah, but you can fix that by upping the bass a bit. So this was built up just last week. So from getting the West Pest on the Sunday, I then dove into it, read the manual, and come up with this waffle. Potential, hasn't it? I think it's got potential. Anyway, let's go back to that, because I've not told you about the FM, have I? How remiss of me. Not the X7 FM. Can't do that stuff. So I did touch on it, didn't I, briefly? So what have we got here now? So FM, as you would expect, and this is just purely the internal low frequency oscillator. So if I increase the speed of that, you get what you expect, really, don't you? We up the pitch range, so we get into the audio range. And it's at this point that we can then start getting some really sort of weird, yeah. West Riding. Yeah, this is where we start to get a little bit more sort of strange. And I've got the delay on as well, haven't I? So yeah, I've got the delay on. The problem with this, obviously, is everything starts to go a little bit atonal. So no good for me for making nice chirpy tunes. Had a bit of resonance. I've got a bit of glide on. Get off the glide. Oscillate the fold mod as well. So we're into like 60s sci-fi territory here now, aren't we? Yeah, I've got I haven't got generate, I've got is it pendulate? I think it's pendulate, which is the free one. Yeah, that's yeah, like you say, it's does all the wavefolding stuff. So there's probably some good stuff you can sample. It's just not very tuneful, is it? But what did I had this patched up before you came in, didn't I? So how did I do this now? So if I take the triangle out, so this is the lo-fi triangle wave. There's a square wave as well, by the way. I've not explained that. So the LFO square wave is not internally patched. So if you want to apply a square wave, you've got to do it via the patch bay. So you can imagine that, can't you? It's just bah, 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 no, square waves. Nah. So we go the LFO triangle to... Oh, how did I do this now? I knew I should have wrote this down. Because I don't think it was there. I think it might have been... No, it must have been that. Pitch. So... Let's turn the resonance down. That's because we've still got the... Right, okay, so... if I take the fold out and put it into the FM, I know that was definitely one that I tried. Let's take that out a sec. Note to self, write notes down. If we go that into there, that's just putting it back into itself, isn't it? So that'll just... No, it wasn't that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I forgot it. I have to just experiment one side, but I won't do it now. So I don't want to bore you too shitless, really, do I? I don't think it was... What? Yeah, Krell. Yeah, I might get generate one day. The trouble is, Mr. Kev Human, I've got that many software since. I don't want to buy any more, really. So, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, this definitely gets into the weirdness once you start patching in some. Let's put oh, so one thing I will say about this as well, which I forgot to mention earlier. Unlike a Eurorack oscillator, which is always on, always creating a noise, with this one you've got to, with the, well, it may be the same with all semi-modulars, you've got to set it into like a hold mode. So that's that. So if I press the key now, And that will have held. So bring up the sustain. And if you remember, I suppose this is how, well, for the guys that were here right at the start, this is how I started the stream off. So we're definitely in the realms of strangeness here. But because I've taken the fold out and put that into the FM, it's broken the link between the LFO and the oscillator pitch, which I thought was a little bit more interesting, and it gets closer to like a white noise sound. So we turn the LFO right up to 500 Hertz. We've got that. Morning, Rich. Sockless, yes. Thanks for dropping in, Rich. So, it's a slight, you can hear that. And it might be because they've got the fold mod up as well. Let's turn it down a second. Take the fold down. I mean, oh, okay. I thought because I plugged that into there, but I suppose, yeah, I'm not quite understanding how this patching is working. But as you go through this, it's like, I've got to record that and just yeah, okay. Let's do something normal-ish. So we'll turn LFO FM off, sorry, and I'll put the LFO to the slower range. And let's tune that as well. Yeah, smash that like button. Subscribe. Unsubscribe. I'm getting a lot of that lately. I know people subscribe to me and then they must watch me live stuff and go, oh, this bloke's a dickhead. And then they unsubscribe. Anyway, where are we? Yes. So what I'm going to do now in Reaper, let's go to Reaper so you can see me ugly face. I have sampled this tune, by the way, but I've told you that before, haven't I? Yeah, you can unsubscribe, Klaus, but you've got to subscribe again. Perhaps that's what someone's doing. They subscribe and then unsubscribe and then subscribe again, and I'm there looking at my YouTube stats and crying. Oh, what's happening? More gin. Yeah, I need to plug in that Arturia, don't I? What time is it? We've done an hour of this. We've done an hour. Let's do a quick sequence anyway. I'll show you an hour because these are already pre-recorded. Let's mute all of the other stuff and the percussion. So now we're just going to hear the. So if I hit play now. Yeah. Oh, and what I've not plugged in, I just realised I need to plug in my. Where's my MIDI? Where's my MIDI cable gone? Hello. Here a bit ago. You just talk amongst yourselves. What's that? And I'm going to try and find my MIDI cable for the West Pest. I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb, so why it isn't just there, I don't know. It should be on the floor. I've gone blind. I've gone blind! I can't see! Someone's taken out my eyes. How crazy is that? Oh no! The West Pest is on the floor. This is turning out to be a major crisis because I can't find my MIDI cable with the DIN connector on it. It's not that one. I'm sure it isn't. Come on, you plonker. Someone's been in and sabotaged me setup. Oh, there it is. See, I can't see for looking. What a plonker. That one. That is the West Pest DIN MIDI. MIDI DIN to 3.5mm jack. There you go. My goodness. Crisis averted. Tune back in. Stop talking amongst yourselves. Right, okay, so that now. We've still got the sound. Don't ever suggest that your missus snores. Oh my goodness. Don't do that. Right. Let's add yeah. You know what, Rich? That threw me a little bit for a while because although I've looked back at my video from last week, I took this black one out of the box for the West Pest and put it on the side on my tabletop just here. But then when I went to experiment MIDI with it, you know, to play it with MIDI, I used my BeatStep Pro or the Arturia DIN to 3.5mm converter. Plugged it in, nothing came out, and I'm thinking, oh, this is crap. All right, Milo, have a good day, mate. Thanks for joining in. the chat and what have you, and sticking around for a bit. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so and then later on I went, oh wait a minute, what's that black thing there? That's, oh yeah, it works. Yeah, whatever. What a wally. Anyway, so let's rename some of my tracks here. Sequence. It's not 01, it's 03. What are you doing? And that's MIDI. Come on. There you go. Make that 03. I forgot how to count. Yeah. Yeah, they're a bit naff, aren't they? But as Luke said on our Discord, when I explained it there's like 3 different specs. I'm thinking, oh right, okay, that explains that then. Okay, so I've got a MIDI track here. Let's bring up Stepic, of course, and I shall add a MIDI hardware, which just happens to be the BeatStep Pro. And there we get a constant tone with just some clicking, and the reason for that is we actually need to take the gate down. There you go. Should we leave that at 1/16th, I guess? And I'll use the Martin Sturz. In fact, hold on, I need to go to E, pentatonic minor. And I'm going to set the notes to random, and then I'll make so many that, so many that, and then let's make so many that, and we'll reduce this to say 15. It doesn't really matter. So this is the octave, and I'll make it so that every so often we get, and probably a couple of low ones as well. Yeah, it's annoying that, isn't it, that they'd actually mention whether there is an A and a B. So let's try this now. So let's just play this. So instant random sequence. Maybe it's a bit overdone now, this. But you know, I like it. Oh, I forgot to randomize the octave. There you go. Hay fever's kicking in. Let's reduce. All this does, so I don't know, for anyone who's not used Stepic, when you put these 2 boxes here on random, you can see how the yellow thing across the top, that's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah blah blah, but then the green one underneath is randomly picking a note to play. And then same with the octave. And I didn't need to make it 15, but I think 15 just adds, it just changes the, let's make it 14. And let's make that, it changes the probability, that's all, that's what I was going to say. So let's make There you go. Yeah, so because it's just randomly hitting the notes, all you do is you go, well, I'll leave my root note. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in 16 chance that E will be played, a 4 in 16 chance that the G will be played, and so on. Yeah, then similar with the what's the names? Okay, so that's the sequence going. Let's go back to that one. Leave that over a bit. Leg over. Hey. This is where the fun starts, I guess. Oh, actually, what I should have done. Hold on. I forgot to tune it, because it will be out of tune now, no doubt. So let's put a tuner on this. Oh, I've got a tuner. There you go. And you can use stepic to ping notes, so that's handy. There you go. Let's try that again. There you go. So does it follow when you play different notes? I don't know what you mean, Rich. Does it follow when you play a different note? I'm not sure. Do you mean with stepping? I'm not sure. I mean, I've got it on free run at the moment, so that when you hit play, what's happened here now? Cable nightmare. Too many cables. Go away. Yeah. So. Yeah, stepic. So what I don't know, yeah. So yeah, I've not tried that. But let's go back to Reaper. Let's just turn this down a bit. Only a little bit. Back to stepic. Yeah, so at the moment I have it on free run. Now you can get it, you can put it on retrigger. Now whether that retrigger then allows you to put a MIDI note into stepic and change the bass note, which is currently E3. I don't know. I've never tried it. I just tend to leave it on free run, unless. Sometimes when I'm using, I'm storing patterns, I may use notes, which is just generally one note. So yeah, I think Luke's answered the question anyway, so you can transpose it. Anyway, back to this. Back to the feet shot. So this is what I've enjoyed about this, I guess. Now we've got a slow LFO going, but I'm not getting it to affect anything, so let's put up the fold model a little bit. So you can use the LFO to modulate the fold mod depth, but to be honest, what I've found is that I enjoy it more if I just play the knobs. So what I might do is I might just put a little bit of depth. So I'll set that down a bit, just bring a little bit back so it just does it a little bit. But then from then onwards, I change things here. As I'm recording, and I'm not recording at the moment, but and then just experiment with and I can do this. I'm sorry, but I can do this all day. Yes. Hold on. Let's just lower that down a little bit. Yeah. So the patterns, Rich. So what you can do is you can build up a number of patterns. So what I'll generally do is if I'm using the pattern method, I generally don't leave it on random. I will use just set patterns and then store them in. You've got 16 storage memories, if you like. So you can build it up that way. So you can start off, say pattern 1 is very, very simple, very, very, you know, just say 1 or 2 notes building up. Then pattern 2, a little bit more detail, pattern 3 and so on, and you build it up like that. Or change you can just change. I'm not too sure whether it changes the scales and stuff. It might do. I never tried it. Yeah, tickles toes. I'm sorry, James. I'm putting my feet all over Mini Brute. It's not my Mini Brute, that. It's me lads. Go on. So, and what I don't know is you can probably use MIDI. So let's say you were driving it from, say, a hardware controller. You could probably use MIDI to change the patterns, but I don't. So if you go to, let's go to this track for the MIDI track, and if I go to add a automation lane in Reaper, for the Stepic plugin, you can't actually change much. You can only change pattern. I don't know what internal does. It doesn't do anything as far as I'm aware. You've got 2 bypasses for some reason, and then you've got wet and del. I don't know what these are. I think some of these are just Reaper things. So effectively, you've only got one item that you can change via automation, either MIDI or whatever. But if I add that in there as an automation lane, and I would have thought you could do the same with Ableton or any DAW. So at the moment I'm on pattern 1, and that you can see this purple line. Oh, wait a minute, I'm just talking all the rubbish here. I'm not even on the Reaper page. Right, let's start again. Let's clear that. So I've gone to the envelope creation. So this is for opening up automation lanes in Reaper. And as I said when I was waffling without this visible, pattern, cut a long story short, pattern is the only one available in Stepic. So you can't change individual notes on offs or anything like that. And I've asked the Stepic guy about this, and it's not even in the on the to-do list. It's just not going to happen. So what we have to do is we have to use pattern storage, and then this automation item here to change the pattern. So if you watch the pattern number there, and obviously I haven't got any stored, so as soon as it goes to pattern 2, it's just going to go dit 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 in C or whatever. I think it is anyway. Let's have a look. So when I increase the, if I lift this envelope, you'll see that. So that answers the question there. So now that I've gone to pattern 2, it's gone to C3 chromatic. So yeah. Hey Dave, thanks for joining, mate. Good to see you. Messing around with the West Pest today. Yeah, so this automation lane can now be used to select patterns. So you can see in Stepic how it changes from pattern, pattern 5, pattern 6, pattern 7, etc. And there we are, back to pattern 1. So yeah, that's how you change patterns in Stepic. Yeah, I like the look of the HY. It's the one that does the oh Davy, what's it now? What's that word? Oh my goodness. Old age. It'll come to me. I do like there's one in particular that I do like of the HYs. Anyway, back to yeah, back to this thing here. Whee! The feet cam. We're on the feet cam. No, well, it doesn't. No, it's just patterns, Kev. Which I suppose is the same as scenes, is it not? Is it patterns, scenes? Is it not a similar thing? I mean, another way you could do this actually is you could have multiple stepic instances, and then you can automate which one is on and off. So let's say 16 patterns isn't enough for you. Let's say you need 24 patterns or wherever. You could just add another instance of stepic and then turn it on and off. Turn each one on and off to suit. Certainly in Reaper you can do that anyway. But I mean, I've found that 16 patterns is way enough for me. Anyway, so yeah. I guess this could be the boring bit, couldn't it, in a way, for some people, but for me this is where it gets interesting. So you can change stuff on the fly. And let's look. I was deliberating. I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be nice if we had patch points to actually alter the fold, or the resonance, or the sustain, and the release, so we could alter those with LFOs. But the problem with that is it bungs the price of the unit up. So I think for the price, I think they're around about 215, 230 quid, something like that at the minute in the UK. For the price, it is what it is, and I do like to be able to just leave stuff playing itself with LFOs plugged in everywhere, but it's also enjoyable to just faff with the knobs, because isn't that what modular is all about? So and this is purely on the so-called sine wave at the minute. I think you get the idea. Bit of resonance. Yeah. So, where am I? I suppose. I mean, I've turned the I've turned on the modular this morning. So, what time are we on? 11:30 nearly. Oh, hello, Don. Hey. Whoa. Croatia. My goodness. Never been there. Yeah, so, you know, it does demand the old knob twiddling. But tell you what, let's leave that playing. I'll probably just add a little bit of hold mod just to sort of give it a bit of, just while I have a look at what I can do by patching in. In fact, I'll change the camera as well. Can I do this with my headphones on? Probably. It won't be focused now, so let me just do an autofocus and then I don't know whether that's in focus or not. I could read the archer here. Okay, and let's make a little bit of room here for the old pest. I'm only putting it up there because well, I'm limited on the length of cables, so let's move that out of the way a sec. And I suppose one interesting thing would be, how would it sound if I put something into the FM there? What would that do? I haven't tuned any of these. Let's put in, I think that's going to be a sine-ish wave. I mean, if I put it into pitch, yeah, but what if I put it into FM there? So we'd obviously need retuning, and it's gone sort of like really atonal, hasn't it? I'm just playing with the tuning of the oscillator. So, you know, to be honest, I probably shouldn't have done this live. I need to explore this away from the camera at some point. But let's stick I've got an LFO here too. Let's stick an LFO into, let's just increase the rate of that a sec. So let's put that into the dynamic mod. So that's changing the release mod. And what I'm going to try, I just want to make sure it is actually the, there you go. So I don't know if you can see. I've sped up the LFO, the Dope for A145, and actually it doesn't sound. It sounds quite good at that sort of rate, doesn't it? Yeah. And then we'll add another LFO. I've got one next to it, the 146 triangle. So let's get that a bit faster. And I'll put that into the fold mod. There you go. So instead of the LFO in here internally, I suppose it kind of begs the question, why do that? Why do that? When I've already got one anyway on the so the internal LFO is just as well doing that, really. Well, I'll tell you what would be a good idea. Let's just try Glass Eric, he doesn't care, mate. What I want to know is what's Don doing in Croatia? Something going on there. Is it just a holiday, Don? I know you're probably busy. So let's send a gate out. So we've got a gate output, and this will be interesting. So let's put it into the gate in, and there we go. So we've got well, I'm saying there you go, but I doubt if you can see anything. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Just about. There's a little LED there lighting up, so that's in time with the gate out. Now, what I'm wondering is if, because we should have a, I think it's the dynamics gate. So I should be able to take the output from this envelope generator and stick it into the dynamic gate. And now, if I change the attack, well, that's interesting. It doesn't like, so any sort of attack. Oh, there you go, actually. Well, there you go. So what I've just done now is, on the West Pest, I've just reading chat. Can you sum internal and it's no. I don't think you can, Luke. I don't think you can. So that well, of course I can. I could probably do it in my Eurorack, but you can't do it in the West Pest. Well, do you know what? I was saying that. Let's say I don't know. is a more correct answer, because I've not gone too deep into it. So it might be. I think certain functions might be addable or summable. Not addable. Summable. I think some of them are. From the manual, I think some of them are summable. But I don't know which ones. So anyway, what I've done now is with the sustain right up, I've now got a bit of attack. So that's interesting, that. He says. I've just changed the octave range of the... Maybe I don't want so much FM. Let's turn that off. I'm just kind of having fun with the LFOs. Now, another thing I can do now is let's have a look at that. Oh yeah. Yeah, it really is a pity we couldn't modulate the fold knob, but you know. Actually, there's a connection here for fold in. So what I've just done there, I've just broken the connection between the internal oscillator and the fold knob, and it's expecting me now to plug this in somewhere and get another sound. So let's plug it into there. And this hasn't got any, well, I tell a lie, it has got pitch out. So what I could do is I could go, where's pitch? Pitch out to volts per octave in. Ooh, heck. That needs to be transposed quite a bit. And it's not tuned. Because, I mean, again, I suppose you could ask the question, why would you want, when you've got a perfectly usable oscillator inside the West Pest, why would you want to use an internal oscillator? Yeah. So, yeah, let's not do that. But I think that's an interesting thing. So that's full attack. Which then sort of you're still with me. Oh, cheers, Rich. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, definitely lunch. It's nearly lunchtime here, but you know, who needs food when you've got this lot? Yeah, so at the moment I'm just using a standard basic ADSR envelope. So what I've got here is a voltage controlled envelope generator. So let's take the gate from that and I'll stick it into the gate input of this. There. Oops. That's the gate. So now that's doing that. And let's take all these down a sec. So basically, I don't really. Can you see? Can you see? These? Yeah. This row of knobs here, or column of knobs, this is your standard ADSR setting for the envelope. And then these set of inputs and attenuators, you can use CV to change the attack, decay, sustain, release. Yeah. So what I'll start off with, I'll just get it back to where it was by, where are we now? Oh yeah, that one out there. And I've got to be careful, I'll make sure I take the right, I can't remember now which one it is. It's fixed out. So there's the attack. Now I'm not sure whether these make any difference. The release certainly does, which you can imagine. So again, because that's supposed to be like an implementation of a low pass gate. So the release, not the decay, but the release is keeping the light on, if you like. Nobody, people who've only come in recently won't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. So what we can do now is I can use, that's going to use me Batumi. I want 2 LFOs, and I'm going to send a saw wave. Sorry. Oh. Yes. Oh. Sine. Yeah, I've not used this for a while. And I'll put it into, so that one can be the attack, and then the other one will be the release. There you go. So bit more subtle. Or maybe that should have been. So what I've got there now is something that can be part played by the Eurorack, but I can also twiddle knobs on the West Pest as well. That's probably a bit too drastic. There you go. Let's twiddle knobs. So obviously if I take the sustain down, it has to wait until the attack ramp is almost vertical before it plays any notes. So, you know, it's so it because of the way this is, because of what we've got on the West Pest in terms of patch inputs, I can do a certain amount of setup, start, record and leave it, but it still demands certain knobs to be tweaked. So fold mod, we're okay there. Dynamic mod. What's the dynamic in? Dynamic in, I think. Oh, I'm not sure now. Let's try something on. Let's try an LFO on the dynamic in. I'm not too sure what that does without hitting the manual. Interesting. Ah, yeah. So that's not going to work. What else have we got on here? So we've got a pitch input. So we did that a little bit ago where I just put a random frequency in there into the pitch to give it some FM, as well as putting it into the actual dedicated FM input. There's a sync. So let's try. Tell you what I'll do. Let's. I'm not really tuned to. Let's try that one into the sync. Oh, wrong one. Not sure. Maybe I should tune that really, so I know what I'm putting into it. But it definitely has an impact. So I need to have a look at that in more detail. So what I've done now, I've upped the release to maximum on the West Pest. So maybe that's now relying more on the release. So let's increase the release on the voltage controlled ADSR. Interesting. Interesting, I guess. I'm sorry, but I can just get lost on this for hours. What have you been saying? Oh, no. Oh dear. What time is it? I don't want to finish at 12, but you know, got stuff to do and all that. So yeah, that was interesting, I think. Potential there for stuff. Just a few simple links between the modular, and of course ultimately what I would like to do at some point in the future is to get this lot doing some sort of a drone, perhaps. I've got the mini brute down there, so that's going to be ideal for some sort of a bass line, perhaps. Bit of East Coast, and then I've got this little beauty here, And I can also, because I've still got another MIDI here. Oh no, I'll need that MIDI, won't I? Well, I've got to check the MIDI connections. I think I've got, because if I'm not using this or the Novation Nova, so I've got options here as well to play. So the Distinct EX are MIDI controllable. So drones, lots of different sequences, a little bit of manual mixing perhaps. So it would be nice to build up to some kind of a live performance. And of course I've got my hardware sequences too. Got the Metropolis and the Beatstep Pro, and probably even the little Arturia keystep for some, I don't know, who knows. So that's a plan, sort of, to get back to do, because I have done live performances before, but then they're a bit crap, to be honest. Yeah. I should probably record this at some point as well, shouldn't I? Yeah. Have I saved me project? Always save the project. Yeah. So there we go. What can I say? Bit of knob twiddling. Takes us to home time. Going a bit mad now, really. Just experimenting a bit here. Yeah, that's. I need to look into that sync, and this probably just needs to be tuned, and probably even take the. Mad. And there's things I can do here. I can modulate the shape for what it's worth. I'm getting lost here a little bit, aren't I? Oh. What can I say? That's what's coming around next. Yeah, it just gets a bit mad, doesn't it, really? But, you know, snippets of this stuff can actually work fine in context. So, you know, record everything and use or don't, I think is the name of the game. Yeah, it's gone a bit mad now, isn't it? Let's take the sync out. Has it stopped? What have I done? Come on, get in there. So yeah, that's been unplugged now. A place for everything and everything in its place, he says. Oh, it's 12:01. What are you going to do? Oh! Somebody else has dropped into chat. Hold on, let's sit down. My knees are killing me. Mr. Ollie. Right, okay. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome to my live stream that's just about coming to an end. Yeah. I could have got the mini brute out, but yeah, I've got stuff to do. Chores at home and what have you. So I guess at this point I should say thank you yet again. Yeah, cheers Luke. I've got to go as well, I'm afraid, which is why I'm saying goodbye. We've spoken, yeah, we must have done, but listen, my memory is absolutely terrible. So yeah, Mr. Raleigh. Oh right, okay, yeah, right, okay. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Another great stream, I think, for me, that, in terms of what I do anyway. And so, yes, goodbye. I shall, I guess, just let this fade out. I'll just turn the volume down and let people go back to sleep. let's go to the outro.